Welcome back to this week's episode of the Green White Checker Podcast. I am your host this week, Joe, and I'm joined, as always, by Austin, Zach, and why am I blanking on your name?
Andrew.
And Andrew. I don't know why I blanked on your name.
The other guy.
Yeah.
Bourbon's hitting already, I guess. But we had a jam-packed weekend full of racing and news. We can go ahead and start out with the Cup race at Gateway in St. Louis. It was quite the day. Ended up being not just a 3-hour race. It was more like 6 or 7 with the fiber issues, the broadcast going down, and obviously the lightning delay. So and we can start off. We can tee it off to Zach. Your boy Kyle Busch got his 3rd win of the season. How we feeling?
Yes, sir. We're feeling pretty good. I was pretty excited. I didn't get to watch as much of the race as I wanted to, but I did catch the end and the infuriating endless cautions.
Cool. Oh gosh, that was bad.
Yeah, that was a rough
I was so frustrated.
Especially when your guy's leading, that's the last thing you want to see.
I know. It's just like, oh my god, when does Larson just send it in too deep and wash him up the track? When
it
does
was
that
close. It was close every restart too. It's like you didn't know if Larson was going to get it. Like it made it exciting at least. But
yeah, I mean,
I'm sure it made it stressful for you with all those restarts. And we finally pulled ahead. Oh, and they're re-racking. All right.
Yeah.
The one thing I did feel good about is Larson had only 2 tires, so I figured as long as he was on the inside and it wasn't like a 4-tire guy like Denny, if Denny would have gotten, well, I don't know, did Denny start on the bottom? Maybe he did. I don't know. I liked Larson being where he was for most of the restarts, if not all of them, because I can't remember all of them. But
the final restart, he started on the bottom.
Yeah, so it was a little nerve-wracking and frustrating, but we got the dub. And I'm getting ready to order that 3Chi diecast. I've been waiting on that one.
It's a good-looking diecast, man. I can't.
Oh my god, it looks so good.
Yeah,
So,
Did
love the
did
black and gold.
3Chi do a T-shirt sale?
that I don't know. I know they have a Kyle Kush T-shirt.
Dude, so
Boomer
every
NASCAR
time
fans
Reddick
are
won,
raging at that one.
every time they Reddick won, they did a sale on their Reddick T-shirts. So
That's cool.
like this one.
There you go.
I know Joe's
Oh,
already
yeah.
got his Race Win Elite diecast ordered for Kyle Busch. That's our resident Kyle Busch #1 fan here.
He's got the autographed one straight from the KBM store.
And that's
I don't think he got the
big
auto. I
news.
think he's waiting until he sees him at the next race to get
I
it
was
autoed.
thinking about-
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
I was thinking about getting the auto, but they want $180 for that. I was like, ugh.
Oh gosh, yeah. Their
Ooh.
prices have gone to the moon
Yeah.
the past years.
It's a little
Um,
much.
That just reminds me, my Corey LaJoy Optic Gaming diecast finally shipped, but it's going to my old address, so
Nice.
I forgot to call them to get that changed. So see where that ends up. But fingers
Nice,
crossed.
nice.
They actually have a
geez.
category in the 3Chi store. It's called the Kyle Kush category.
That's hilarious.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Love that.
Zach's batting
Well-
getting nice and high for it. Right? Celebrate, yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, well, big win for Kyle. Seems like he's rejuvenated going to RCR and Chevy, and possibly a Final Four run even, right? Him and William both have 3 wins now, so he's looking strong for the stretch run here.
I think we were
Can I-
all. Sorry, Zach. I'll let you go after
You-
my much more
Yeah,
important
you go ahead.
statement. Obviously,
Absolutely.
I think we were all. I don't know if "concerned's" the right word. 'Cause I don't know if many of us are really concerned about Kyle's performance. But I think we were all like,
Skeptic.
just skeptic. Yeah, of going to RCR from Joe Gibbs to RCR. Like, is this going to be like just kind of
Massive setback.
a massive setback?
Yeah.
Is it going to be just he's not going to win any more races? Is it going to be like top 15 car at best? Like, is he going to be? Is he going to do well? But I mean, I think he's shown just his quality of drive of a driver in that equipment, obviously. But I mean, it's as a self-proclaimed less Kyle Busch hater now that he switched teams, I've kind of enjoyed seeing him outrun that car, especially because it makes Austin Dillon look even worse. So gotta love that.
Yeah,
The second chapter of Kyle Busch has started, and
Yeah.
everybody is a Kyle Busch fan now. I don't care who you are.
So weird.
I'm not quite there yet.
Oh yeah, you are, Joe. you were a Kyle Busch fan before. Do we need to show the picture of Kyle in a shirt, or Joe in the Kyle suit?
Yeah, I love
That
Kyle
was
Busch so much.
under duress.
Such a big fan.
Okay, that's
There it
enough.
is.
No, but yeah. So Kyle's, moving on all cylinders here, and we had the race overall. Go ahead.
Is it just the like pure hate of Joe Gibbs that is driving Kyle Busch right now?
I guess.
I think he's genuinely happy. As somebody who's followed Kyle Busch for years now, he just seems a lot happier. I don't know if there was some, jilted feelings over there at JGR, especially with them taking Adam Stevens away from him and giving him Ben Bayshore, who just
Lord have mercy,
knew how to throw a race. I'll tell you. I think there was definitely some hurt feelings over there, and I think there's a lot of tension for a while. So I don't know. He just seems rejuvenated. He's much happier, and he's just having fun with it. I think. I mean, he's still gonna get frustrated and whatnot, but
yeah. And I think also, I was gonna say, like, I feel like Gibbs, they have so many, like, you have to be prim and proper, kind of like at Penske, where you can't really fully be yourself, and now Richard Childress like, yeah, just do whatever you want.
Well, the way Kyle tells it is like they wanted him to be like the heel. They wanted him to be himself, but then they wouldn't like back him. Like the cool thing about RC is he'll come out with you, and he'll stand up for his drivers. He's always done that. So I mean, I think that makes Kyle feel good. I think he's got a good relationship over there with Randall Burnett, who's an amazing crew chief. So yeah, I think it's just a whole new environment. I also think somebody on the 75 different types of NASCAR media content I absorbed throughout the week. Somebody was saying that maybe Kyle, go back to Joe Gibbs. You kind of you got Denny, you got Kyle, you got Martin Truex. Who's really the lead dog over there? We don't really know who's really directing the ship. Now you go over to RCR. It's definitely Kyle.
Right.
They brought him in there to lead that ship. So not being challenged for that leadership position, being able to make the changes he thinks he needs, that could do a lot for your mindset.
And Austin Dillon ain't challenging for that top spot.
God, no.
Speaking
of, I guess.
I
was gonna say. Go ahead, Andrew, and then we'll move on.
I was just thinking, will RCR add a third ride next year?
Who knows?
Austin Hill.
Well, if
they're gonna have to do something with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they can get that charter, who knows? Maybe Stuart Haas goes down to 3 and leases a charter, or there's a lot of potential movement there for that.
I did see something else, just kind of funny about the Kyle Busch RCR relationship. Apparently, his win on Sunday was 10 or 11 years to the day, the anniversary of the Hold My Watch incident.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Which is pretty wild.
That's hilarious.
Well, speaking of Mr. Silver Spoon himself, Austin Dillon, so him and Silver Spoon 2.0, along with Recky Stenhouse Jr., got in a little bit of a scuffle there on the last run. A lot of hot debate there on whether Austin Cindric, intentionally hooked him, and what was he even mad about. So NASCAR ended up saying it was just racing, just hard racing. They didn't do any penalties to Cindric, and obviously that set off the Chase fans. I'm fine with it. I thought it was fine racing. But that was kind of a wild wreck there. What do we think about that?
I mean, speaking of Childress standing up for his drivers almost to a fault there, where he's like, Cindric intent wrecked him. Watch the replay. I mean, I think, at least in my eyes, it's fairly evident that was far from intentional. If anything, it was Austin Dillon's fault, and he was just coming up the track. And, I mean, in that situation, if you're Cindric, even if he, I didn't look at the SMT data. I know there's some tweets out there with the SMT data, but, even if he did pull left in that situation, I think we've all been in maybe all of us have been in somewhat similar situation in iRacing, where guys coming across your nose, and the way he's hitting you, obviously I know iRacing's different, but you're either going to go with him into the wall, or you have to cut left.
Yep.
And it's going to spin the guy, but he's wrecking either way. You're just saving yourself there. So I'm like, and we see that a lot where guys will, you're not full pit maneuvering them, but they're kind of rubbing up on you. It's going to send you in the wall with him, or into the guy. And in this case, the guy Cindric's outside, so he's got to cut a left to avoid that happening. And then you just kind of, you don't sacrifice Austin Dillon because he's going to wreck either way. But if there was any cut left from Cindric there, the contact was already done. Cindric was holding his line, and Austin came up into him. So that's my take on the whole situation. Was not even like a racing deal. It's just a mistake from Austin.
100%. It wasn't intentional, and
No,
like
not
Greg
at all.
said, I think he just 100%. Dylan's moving up. Cindric could either get hit to the right, or he could spin Dylan and keep going, and that's what he chose. And I think most drivers in the field would do that.
Yeah.
I just the blowback from it's been hilarious though.
It has been, and it's like,
And-
and I get standing up for your guys, but just go watch 2 seconds of the SMT, and
Yeah.
you'll not do that.
Right.
Well, and Denny was sitting there saying, "Why is he turning left down the straightaway?" Man, watch it. I don't
Going
know.
in turn, going
Yeah.
in turn.
I mean, shut up, Denny.
Yeah, and we obviously definitely don't want it to get to like someone wrecks somebody, like ever so like, oh, he walled me on purpose. It's like, dude, NASCAR drivers make mistakes, even the Cup guys, and Cindric is. And I'm not saying it's more Cindric's fault, but like Cindric's only in his second year. He's gonna do dumb shit. Everyone's gonna do dumb shit. Chase Elliott did dumb shit last week, and
Except
he's a
for me,
veteran. So like,
in iRacing, I've never
Austin-
done anything dumb. So
Austin Dillon's been around for what, 13 years? He does dumb shit every week.
he won a Daytona 500 by wrecking somebody. So he's the last person who should be talking. But yeah, that was a fun little internet debate there. But yeah, it was just racing. But
Yeah.
we also had 3 pretty major brake pad failures, both 2311 cars and Carson Hocevar. And no Gregson, right? That's 4. Am I right on that? Was it all
Yeah.
4 of them?
Yeah. Gregson got
Yeah,
him.
and Gregson slapped that wall Pocono style there pretty hard. Thankfully, he's okay. But yeah, that's seems like it only happens at that track in Pocono. Those
Yeah.
brake pads.
yeah, when it happened to Carson first, as a self-proclaimed again Carson Hocevar hater, I mean, I was like, oop, oh. But then it kept
You
happening. I'm
loved
like,
it too because he was running so well. When
He was.
in that
all
7
like,
car
yeah,
too.
thank you.
Yeah, making Corey look real bad, which we'll get to that in a minute. But I mean, yeah, I was like, all right, oh yes, all right, sweet, made a big mistake. I don't want to see a guy get hurt or anything when that was in a hurt wreck. But then it kept happening over and over. And so, I mean, I think it's I don't know. I don't want to get too deep into this, but I mean, the brake pads that's part of the spec, right? Like they don't custom make their brake
believe so,
brake
yeah.
pads or brakes or anything.
It was the rotors.
Yeah, the rotors, like, that's all from NASCAR. So in my mind, okay, well that sucks because, there's a spec part. They don't have control over those parts and they're braking. But at the same time, I'm like, well, it's kind of bringing some of that like car management back in the sport a little bit. Like I feel like we got away from that a little bit. The Coke 600 used to be an endurance race of whose car could stay together for 600 miles of racing. We don't have that anymore because the cars are so reliable. So yeah, brake pads are falling apart, but like, is it because these guys are just way too hard on the brakes? Is it they were using too much forward brake bias? I mean, I think Hocevar's crew chief even said he was using slightly more brake bias, like not an excruciating amount, but a little bit more brake bias. So it's like, okay, like he wasn't saving his stuff well enough. Not just talking tires, but talking like the whole car as itself. So, I think again, I don't want to get too much into that, I guess, but it's kind of an interesting thought journey that my mind went on with that whole situation.
And even I heard on the broadcast too, and again, I'm not a car mechanic, so I don't know, but they were saying something.
Well, we do
about
know everything
how,
on this podcast, Joe. Don't forget that.
Yes,
100%.
we do, absolutely. But so I forget who was talking about it, probably not Clint, but they're saying so there are steel brake pads, I think, versus carbon fiber, and a lot of
Ceramic.
racing cars use or ceramic, yeah. A lot of them use steel. It's pretty common, but you also could swap for this race Pocono. Even I just remember Nashville last year had a couple brake pad failures. Maybe swap to the ceramic or carbon fiber ones so you have less of those. And like obviously with the Noah hit, like you can take a pretty hard lick there. And he even said when he made sure he turned in so that left side hit instead of hit head on or driver's side, because that could have been way worse. So yeah, I don't know. I think like obviously I understand you want as spec of a car as you can, so there's more parity, everyone's closer together. But I think they need to allow a little bit more freedom on things that could, especially impact safety,
Right.
like the brake stuff. So
So correct me if I'm wrong here, and I believe
You're wrong.
Corrected instantly.
so.
Good talk.
And this kind of has to do with Kyle Busch. I think it was him that got penalized last year for putting tape on the grill.
Mm.
He
They
put
didn't-
it on the
that was-
center.
That wasn't on purpose. That was something weird that happened there.
So you're not allowed to tape the center grill, but you're allowed to tape the brake ducts. So I think this could also have to do with the teams maybe over taping the brake ducts.
Interesting.
Opposite. The cars cool too well. That's the problem. So like the steel brakes, they would get really, really hot under braking, and then they would cool the rest of the lap because you
Okay.
brake so hard for 1 and 2, so the brakes get super hot, and then you have that long backstretch of 3 and 4, and then 3 and 4 you brake, but not nearly as hard, and then you have a long straightaway. So it's like the cars are almost too efficient at
Stress
cooling.
cracking them from heat and cool. And
Yeah,
Okay.
heat and cool. So you cycle that a bunch of times, and it just gets brittle and brittle and brittle. And say you get one vibration or something like that, and then all of a sudden, boom, there goes your brake rotor. So
And
the
even
problem is actually the opposite: is that the cars are cooling them too well. So they need to find a way,
more
like
tape.
add more tape, block off the cooling. Maybe if they got kind of going back to I think what we were saying what Dale Jr. said about brake pads a couple weeks ago. You get a less efficient brake pad that lengthens your braking zones. Then you're going down the straight without using the brakes longer, kind of, if that makes sense.
And
There's different things they can do. I don't think they need to go to carbon ceramic brakes. Those are really expensive. One
I'm
of the
sure they
advantages
are, yeah.
of steel brakes is that they're cheap. So I think there's workarounds. We can figure it out. It's just this car again is just a little too efficient at everything for its own good in some cases.
Yeah.
And speaking of Corey and Carson, obviously because of the Chase Elliott suspension, Carson Hocevar was in the 7 and Corey LaJoie was in the 9 this week. So Carson was doing actually pretty well. He was around, I think, like 18th ish for that whole first run there, and then obviously his brake pad blew up and he finished, I think, dead last. And
Felt so bad.
Corey was out to lunch all day pretty much. He was, I think, where he finished like mid-20s, I think.
21st.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
21st.
21st.
So somewhat, I mean, that's where he would run normally, which obviously you don't like that in one of the best cars on the track. So
Funny thing is, I don't think that's where he would run normally. Spire's been pretty good, especially with him. And side note, did you guys hear on one of the podcasts again that I think it might have been Hamlin, but apparently Spire, both cars, the 7 and 77, the 47, and I think another one are all on the same Chevy plan as far as their alliance and what they're putting in what cars and stuff like that. I remember we had a conversation like, is the 77 the same as the 7?
Right.
And
no, there's no shot it is.
apparently, according to Hamlin, they're all on the same. Or I'm thinking it's Hamlin.
I don't
The
believe-
other,
I don't
yeah,
believe
it was
that.
Hamlin. It was Hamlin.
But I mean,
I
you look at
believe
the
it.
47. You look at the 47. The 47's definitely picked up their game this year. So
They have, yeah.
he's at least 2/3 right.
Yeah, I think it's just the quality of driver in the 77 we've had has not been
Not been great.
anything better than where they've been running. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
So I thought that was kind of interesting.
I, for one, was obviously very disappointed with how Corey was running that 9 car. I think it was very, very evident that one, his nerves were getting to him. I mean, he shut off the car, hit the kill switch on the first, like, coming to the green, which you don't do if you're not just like completely in your head nervous about it. And then I'm sure from that set him off from there, and then I think the guys were having problems, passing the entire time. So then he's stuck. I mean, he was stuck in bad track position to begin with after was it qualifying? He hit the wall.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, for one, I attribute part of that to having a car with actual power. Yeah, I think we can all agree you drive Charlotte differently with a street stock versus a
Cup car.
cup car. So in the same way, your throttle points, your brake points, everything are going to be different in a Hendrick car than they're going to be in a Spire car. So I think that he wasn't used to that. Started off on a bad foot. Qualifying he qualified like 30th or something, like just
I think it was
way
30th
back
exactly.
there. Nerves get to him, shuts off the car, falls back. I mean, I think I would have sorry Joe, but I wish Chase was suspended for longer because then he could like have more time to get used to that car, more time to like get his feet underneath him and you know, kind of really
like
show
a regular
stuff.
1.5 or something.
Yeah, where you can make passes easier and stuff. Like I'd really love to have seen him there. I'm sure there's going to be guys who are like, you can't say it's just the driver anymore. It's clearly, you know, that's not the equipment anymore. It's clearly the driver now. But you know, I was seeing that even after he just hit the kill switch. But I don't think you can ever base someone's performance off one. I mean, same with Hocevar. I mean, he had a great run, but we can't say Hocevar is ready for a cup ride because he had one good race. You know, in the same way we can't say Corey doesn't deserve a better ride just because he had one bad race. I think you just take it with a grain of salt. And again, still disappointed with how he ran. Was really hoping for better performance, but I think him getting that call at all from Rick was a good sign that clearly there's at least some kind of interest there, some kind of recognition that okay, maybe he is deserving of a better ride than where he's kind of been pigeonholed. But you know, I don't think we can discount Corey still. As a clearly biased Corey LaJoie fan, I don't think we can discount him just because of one bad race in that 9 car.
There's currently no evidence that Corey LaJoie is any better or worse than Chase Elliott. It's a fact. Because Chase Elliott finished P21 last year at Gateway.
Yeah.
So they are at least even.
And that's what I wanted to bring up. And we talked about it last week, how Hendrick didn't perform last year at Gateway. And they didn't this year either. The only way that the 5 got up, you know, to the top 10, 2-tire strategy. How did the 48? Same way. Why would the 9 take the shot at, you know, going to the front with the 2-tire stop and wreck a car when they already know their car's bad? They're going to sit there and just chill in the mid-20s, you know, and just finish the day with a car that's not wrecked. And that's what they did. I think Corey did, you know, the best with what he could. But I just think the team, you know, they missed the mark. They knew they missed the mark, and they kind of just told him, hey, just keep it clean, and he brought it home.
I think too, and I know I've talked a lot about this at all already tonight, but I think too there was something. Well, I think when the internet went out, like they lost some of their data track, like that some of the data they were getting they didn't have anymore. And at one point, I think Bob or someone tweeted that Corey was talking about how the car was just like horrible in the corners, like wasn't turning the way he wanted to, like super tight in the middle, and then Chase's crew chief was like, well, nothing really we can do about it without the data. It's like, what do you mean there's nothing you can do with that without the data? Like,
how useless are these crew chiefs now?
Exactly. I mean, yeah. I think, you know, like I
had it here. Yeah. Rodney Childers had a better car than 10th yesterday, but just a tough race, having no timing and scoring, no SMT, no laps on fuel or tires, no communications with the engineers at the shop. All was extremely frustrating. I felt so lost.
Is that what you get paid to figure out?
What are you in for?
Freaking job.
Like what?
Yeah.
Like, are you literally just a mailman for the war room, or like you literally like, oh, they're telling me we need to take 2 clicks out of the wedge, and it's like, like, what are you good for, man? Like you got, I mean, Cliff Daniels clearly made some adjustments.
Out.
Yeah, I mean, not only did they do the 2-tire strategy, but they also made some adjustments on that 5 car, obviously, to make him actually run halfway decent. Then you got freaking Gus, whatever the frick you say his last name. Yeah, that guy. Sitting here like, sorry, man, hands are tied, got no data. It's like, what?
I'm convinced Chase emailed Gustafson and said, don't let him make me look like an asshole.
Don't you dare let him finish anything better than 20th, all right?
You put Napa logos on a Chevy Cruze in the parking lot. You don't give him a good car.
Yeah, and people were like, Corey clearly doesn't know how to communicate what's wrong with his car. I'm like, what? Huh? I'm like, he's telling him exactly what's wrong with the car. Is he supposed to tell him exactly what kind of like adjustments they need? Like, no, that's not his job. He's supposed to tell him how the car's driving, and then he's supposed to make the adjustments off of that. I mean, that was frustrating to me too. It's just like, what do you mean, man? We can't do anything without the like our hands being held by the data. Like,
it's obvious.
This generation's soft.
Damn straight. I mean, Hendrick they just didn't have it yesterday. I mean, it's just fact.
Not. No,
yesterday, Sunday. I always forget we do this on a Tuesday.
Yes.
So, I mean, I don't know. I don't think you can take too much stock away from it.
No.
I had to look up Carson Hocevar's I rating. It's a 3,400, guys.
Wow.
Ooh.
I was higher than him at one point, so.
Same.
Well, yeah. So, any other thoughts from the Cup race before we move along.
I will say,
Extremely boring.
yeah,
Everybody,
Yeah, I did not really enjoy that race much.
it was better than I expected. I think.
I thought it was okay.
Really?
Yeah, I know, right? Why? Why would I think it's
that's
okay?
the only reason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wonder
No,
why.
Kyle Busch winning aside, like I saw 2 lanes fairly regularly,
Mhm.
cars side by side. Was passing hard? Yeah, sure. I'm not saying it was a great race by no means. Charlotte still hands down race of the year, obviously, but it was better than I was expecting. I mean, I was expecting single lane all the time, not able to pass at all, nothing. But I felt like there was a couple lanes. I mean, Kyle was running high, cars and passing guys on the low side, and I don't know. It seemed like there was some options. It was just better than I expected.
Yeah.
It wasn't great, but
That's fair.
it was better than I was thinking it was going to be.
Kind of where
I think I think it was worse just because of the whole lightning delay, so it just like made the whole day seem super fucking long.
Yeah.
I think if you take that out, start the race on the regular start time, and just have it go its normal distance, it doesn't so bad. But you add 2 hours of lightning delays, it really drags it out.
Yeah.
I think
I
if you get rid of all the restarts and like the lap or 2 after them, that would be one of the most boring races of the season.
I don't know. Martinsville's pretty bad.
That's true.
This was Martinsville.
I don't think
yeah,
it was as bad as Martinsville.
100% it was.
Big Martinsville.
I don't think it was as bad as Martinsville. Martinsville was bad.
I think after this race, NASCAR looks to move to get rid of Gateway.
I don't see why you would.
The,
Because
the,
the car's not great on these types of tracks, so why would you move? Where are you going to go? I think you can figure out the short track package. I also don't know why they didn't run the short track package to begin with.
I agree.
They should have.
Well, and Denny was even saying too that they have a new short track tire ready, and they just are waiting. I guess this isn't considered like a true short, but like it's like just use it on this short track because.
Well, he said they were running the same tire here that they did at freaking North Wilkesboro. So
like,
the most aggressive surface on the calendar didn't wear out the tire, and you're going to use it here.
The tire didn't wear out, and you're acting surprised that it didn't wear out. If you like, that's what the drivers are saying. That anyone with the pulse knows. If you have a tire that wears out, you're gonna have a better race because there's gonna be fall off. There's gonna be, people have to watch their equipment, and if their tires aren't gonna wear, then you're gonna get what you're gonna get. So
I still maintain we need to get rid of stages so you can have more lap traffic interaction. I think that also makes the race more interesting.
You can pay the points, but don't throw the caution.
One more thing I did want to add about this race. I saw a tweet with the ratings for this week. They were down like a little bit from last year. And I saw someone, I won't say who, it wasn't anyone like we know or anything, but I don't want to, it's pretty much bait. It's like half-truth bait. They posted
it's a tweet I saw, I swear.
It might be. But they essentially said, like the ratings went down. There's some note on there about like, there was the lightning delay, and Chase Elliott wasn't racing, which could account for some of it. And then someone replied that Chase Elliott fans are not real NASCAR fans, hinting that since they didn't watch the race with Chase not in it, it makes them not real NASCAR fans. And I'm curious. I have my own thoughts on it, but I want to hear your thoughts on that statement.
1,000%
I want it on record. I watched the race, so I want to be clear on that.
We've established you're a not as bad Chase fan. So I don't know about good Chase fan, but you're not as bad.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Left early. You stayed the whole time for this race at least, so that's good.
I did.
Did somebody else give you a ride?
No comment on that.
But Joe stayed because his ride home didn't leave yet.
So they are the worst. But would you say they're not NASCAR fans since they don't watch the race when Chase is on?
I think if you only have one favorite driver, you're sort of limiting yourself. I don't know. Are you a race fan or are you a certain athlete fan? I guess that's the question. Because if you're not watching because your guy's not in it, then you're not a race fan. I don't think. I think you're a fan of Chase Elliott. Is there anything wrong with that? I don't know. I think it's kind of douchey, but to each their own, I guess.
Get it?
I don't. I mean,
like I'm going to tune into something that I don't enjoy to watch Chase Elliott run. It makes no sense to me.
No, it does.
I mean, if the number fall off was actually because of Chase Elliott fans, they're the worst kind of fans. And honestly, the sport's better without them.
I would take no Chase Elliott fans 100%. I don't care if we lose 500,000 people a week. But the other thing is too is we have yet to actually prove that, and that's the problem. Like, it's sort of unprovable. This whole claim of Chase fans don't watch, and I don't think it is 500,000 people legit tune in just because Chase Elliott's there.
I don't think 500,000 Chase fans are just strictly Chase fans. There's no shot.
A rain delay on Fox Sports 1.
Yeah. Right. I think if like we need to talk about we talk about our Fox flubs every week. Like, the broadcast is fucking unbearable.
Last week
and especially
last week.
And we can.
I think last week.
Transition. We can transition to that.
I want to say my points first, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you're good. So, my thought with it is, and hear me out to the end, because I know we don't like equivocating NASCAR too closely to other sports, right? But
here we go.
Okay, Stanley Cup playoffs. I watched up until the Canes lost. I watched every game of the Canes series, all the way coming through the Stanley Cup, and then I have not watched a single game of the final because I don't like the Canes aren't playing, so I don't really have a dog in the fight. I'm not really watching. Now, I'm not the biggest diehard hockey fan, but I don't think that me not watching this, like, because my team's not playing, is not disqualifying me as a hockey fan. I'll say too, like, this definitely goes for football. Like, me and Joe's first roommate when I moved to Charlotte was a huge football fan, to the point that he would watch every game, every like college football game. Like, he just put them all on, or maybe basketball, one of those. He was like a big fan, so he would literally watch every single game, not a dog in 90% of the fights, but he'd watch like all these games. I'm like, I don't get that, man. Like, you're watching so much, like you're watching literally like 20 games on a Saturday. Like, that is just ridiculous to me. Like, you don't care, but like, I don't care about University of St. Louis in Springfield, Illinois versus, the Technical College of University of Chicago playing each other. Like, I don't care about that, so I'm not going to watch. So I'm like, okay, he's like a football fan. Like, he is a basketball fan. But I don't think that someone who just watches the Panthers play or just watches Alabama play, I don't think they're not football fans, because they're not watching every game over a weekend. I think that obviously with NASCAR it's a little different, because you do have 36 guys all playing at the same exact time, and picking one driver out of that, and if that driver's not racing to not watch, I obviously feel like that makes things a decent amount different. But I think at the same time, it's like, I don't know if I would disqualify them as NASCAR fans just because the one guy they really get involved to watch is not racing. You know what I mean? Like, they no longer have a dog in the fight. Like, again, like, I'm not a big fan of people only having one driver they ever pull for. But if they don't have a dog in the fight, like, what's the fun really in watching, I guess, that week? So I don't know if I disqualify that. Again, assuming that's true, that the viewer drop is because Chase Elliott fans aren't watching, I don't know if I'd fully discount them as NASCAR fans. That's just my thought on it.
With your thoughts,
let's hear it.
I think you just invented the most amazing thing ever.
Oh.
So you're mentioning how you watched your team in the Stanley Cup finals or whatever, and once they got eliminated, you stopped watching.
Mm-hmm.
So Battle Royale hockey, you put all the teams out on the ice at the same time, and we just go at it.
Right. Yes.
I'm watching that whole thing, baby.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. We should do that for all the sports. Basketball, soccer, football.
All the football teams on. Oh, my God, yeah.
I'll say this real quick in
32
response
balls
to Drake, and then we'll move on. But, like, I mean, I agree. I think for me, I feel like this is probably for most people.
Oh,
but, like,
do you agree?
Yes. Well,
defending Chase Elliott fans. Wow.
What?
Calm down. I'll explain. But like, yeah, so I have a favorite team in most sports, basketball. But for like basketball, baseball, and hockey, yeah, I'll watch my team play. But like Drake said, like if they're in the playoffs or whatever, I'll watch them until they're out, and maybe I'll check out the World Series because I do like baseball more, but like. I haven't really watched much basketball this year because the Hornets suck, But I watched a little bit. I watched the Sabres because they were better and they had a chance at the playoffs. But once they were eliminated, I didn't watch. I think the only exception, and this for most people, is football, right? Like the Panthers were not in the playoffs this year, but I watched. Well, obviously, I watched all Panthers games, and like sometimes me and my boys will watch like Monday Night Football or Thursday Night Football because it's just fun to do, or like, but we watch every playoff game and everyone watches the Super Bowl, right? So that's like the one exception, I think, to where, your team's not in it, but you're still watching. And obviously people might be watching for Beyonce or Rihanna or whoever for the Super Bowl, but that's, just to wrap that up.
I mean, I will say, just from our live studio audience here, Dangle said he considers himself a hockey fan, but only really watched the Sabres. 82 games is enough. So I agree.
As a Sabres fan, I agree.
How's the playoffs this year for you?
Okay, that's enough.
No more sports ball. I don't care. I can't really relate to any of these metaphors because I just don't understand why stuff.
No, but we'll move on here.
I mean, geez, Joe, let me have a final thought. My goodness.
Moving on.
You're gonna bash Chase fans are great.
Don't let them talk. Get out of here.
Chase fans are great. That's it. We're moving on. We're done.
Closing thoughts.
I agree.
I mean, yeah, I get that. I get the idea, and that's kind of like what I was saying. Like, are you a fan of the sport or are you a fan of the team? Which one are you? And again, I am, in NASCAR case, more a fan of the sport than I am any one driver. But I also have more drivers that I cheer for. And I think that's where, NASCAR could do a better job on promoting the other drivers in the sport. Like, we don't need more Chase Elliott commercials. Chase Elliott has his fan base where he's fine. He's doing okay. They are awful, but they're there. They're not gonna stop cheering for Chase if you don't show him in more ads. So I think we need to find a way to sort of get people interested in other drivers, because you don't want any one driver being as big as the sport either. Like, in my mind, you don't want, like, for example, if the Chase Elliott effect is real, you don't want that to be the case. You don't want a driver leaving, because we've had that with Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Right. A lot of people stopped watching after that.
Yeah, you have these massive stars where they become bigger than the sport itself. You don't want that. You want to diversify your fan base and try to have people pulling for as many drivers as they can, so when one guy does eventually leave, you don't really feel that. Because I know a lot of guys that stopped watching. Oh, Junior retired, I was done. Or when Senior died, I was done watching. There's definitely a lot out there that are like that. It's not just a Chase Elliott effect. He wasn't the one who invented it.
My granddad was like that, who literally got me into NASCAR. Like, once Dale died and Junior retired, he's like, I don't really watch anymore.
Yeah.
So to add a little bit to what Zach said, you like the team or you like the sport, the team's still there. I mean, it's like you're,
watching a sub.
You lost your quarterback for the football team, so you're just not going to watch the team.
Quarterback is the guy who throws the ball, Zach, in football.
Yeah, he's
is he?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
I thought there was somebody handing change out or something.
Nice.
God,
you are a dad, aren't you? Jeez.
Oh, sweet heavens.
Yay, sports. Okay, we move on now.
All right, we'll wrap up. So we got this week is our. Well, actually, hold on that. So
touch on the trucks.
Yeah, well, we can touch on trucks and Xfinity. So trucks, we had Majeski and Zane Smith wreck for the lead. That was an interesting one there. And I'll admit I didn't really watch much of the truck race. So if anyone else did, please take the lead on this one.
Yeah, I added that to the list because I had 3 picks for the truck race. I picked Zane Smith, Ty Majeski, and then I had a long shot at somebody. Oh, I don't remember. But they're like a plus 20,000. So with 5 to go, I'm sitting there. I'm like, fuck yeah, here we go. We're running 1-2. And then Ty Majeski sends it in, takes them both out.
Oof.
It's like, fuck my life.
That was tough. I did see that.
Though.
Yeah. So who I forget who won trucks. That's bad of me if not.
Was it Friesen?
No, what's his name?
Enfinger.
Enfinger, yeah.
There you go. And then Xfinity, we had Cole Custer. I guess steal one. I think Klingerman, kind of sent it in there on that last restart, and
the big takeaway to the Xfinity race is Jeb Burton versus Chandler Smith.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah,
Chandler Smith, social media.
He killed him.
That was great. That was. Oh boy, yeah.
Absolutely
music and all that playing.
Jeb Burton's such a douchebag. Like he gets on the internet, he's like, "Yeah, he felt that one. He's at the infield care center." Like, Dude, there's cameras everywhere. Somebody's gonna have this documented.
Right. Like, come on.
It's the fight version of SMT. We know what happened, bud.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I feel like Jeb's doing this stuff, like, I don't know what, multiple times a year, because it brings in some money from sponsors. Like,
it gets his name out there, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know.
Yeah, that was a decent race. I watched a good bit of that. I hate that Jordan Taylor lost his gearing there. He was up there for most of it, but now he's in Le Mans. But we'll get to that in a little bit. But so
boy.
Denny's, I honestly completely forgot about it, but Denny's bracket is down to the championship round this week. It is Brad Keselowski versus William Byron for Denny's bracket. So I think the winner will get to go on be Denny's first podcast guest, and Dale is going to send them some sun drops. So there you go.
I still have no idea how Brad Keselowski.
Dude, so I was about to mention this. The easiest bracket was for Brad.
Even still,
Eric Jones.
Easy.
Week 1. Week 2, Almirola.
Easy.
Week 3, Chastain. After Chastain, which we should mention.
Speaking of Chastain, what is that about?
And then he had Bubba at Gateway, and Bubba blew the rotor towards the end and just handed it to Brad.
And Brad was on a lawnmower engine that whole race.
Yeah. So what do we think of, real quick, Chastain running dog shit 2 weeks in a row?
He's getting the Rick Ware engines at this point.
You think?
I think he's just trying not to.
Or do you think Daddy Justin had a talk with him?
Yeah, 100%. I've been that way since the first week.
Still got McDowell though. What's Drake? What's your comment on that? As a fan of both drivers.
No comment. Plead the fifth.
I'll tell you what though. If there's somebody I don't want to fuck with, it's McDowell, because Ty Gibbs learned at the All-Star week.
Yeah, try to put him in the damn water barrels.
He will come and get you.
McDowell, low-key country strong too. He's a big boy.
Yeah, I mean, he used to be so soft. I don't want to say soft. He would just. I mean, he obviously has those fights with Suarez or whatever, but he would just kind of let whatever roll in the track and get run over a lot. But he's kind of started standing up for himself for the past 5 years or so. So it's kind of fun to see that.
Yeah, ask Bubba or Ty Gibbs what happens when you cross McDowell.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh yeah, also at Bristol, right?
If I'm Ross Chastain, I'm sending McDowell a watermelon basket. I don't want any hard feelings there.
But yeah, so and then the real big news, and we can kind of go into Sonoma here real quick. This is our last week with Fox.
Let's go, boys.
Lord.
Let's go. We made it.
This whole race was a Fox flub of the week, so we can go ahead and hit on that. I know for me, the last pit stop, so it was the one where there was probably some decisions to be made on the leaders, and Clint was like, watch the leaders here, and the camera was on a section before pit entry, so you couldn't really tell who was going through. And then by the time they decided not to pit, they put the camera back on the leaders while everyone else was pitting. So it's like, well, who's pitting, who's not?
Yeah.
What the heck's going on here?
There's no clue. It's just
no idea.
Yeah. No, they don't know what racing fans want to see because they're not racing fans themselves. So
they're not.
I think my biggest thing was obviously we had that weather delay at the beginning. We knew it was a weather delay because our faithful fan and friend JT mentioned was on the scanners. He's like, "Oh, lightning delay!" Before we ever saw them going to pits or anything. Come back from a commercial. It shows the entire field going into the pits. For nothing. What? Never really said it. Clint decided it was a good time to talk about McDonald's fries instead. No mention of the weather delay. They go back to commercial, and so we're like, "Oh, it was we ran 2 laps under green. Why is everyone pitting?" And then they come back, they're like, "We're currently under delay because lightning's in the area." It's you waited that long? If they would have just not said nothing, I would have been frustrated. But the fact that Clint's in there, I'm just thinking about McDonald's French fries right now. It's it just pisses me off even more, and it's just icing on the cake. So that's my.
I'm gonna be that guy. They did say it before they went to that commercial break.
Did they?
Before they pulled on the pit road? Yeah. So Mike Joy goes.
Clip it.
And this is right before they went to commercial. He goes, "Oh, we're hearing there's lightning in the area," and then boom, commercial.
So not much better, but still, like,
Yeah,
at least they
yeah.
said it, but still, it's like,
Yeah, so I was sitting on the couch watching, and I heard it, and I looked at the girlfriend. I was like, "Well, this is done for a while." And she goes, "What?" And then next thing you know, they're showing them on pit road, and we're like, "Oh, well, I guess we'll go do other stuff."
yeah.
Yep.
If you weren't on Twitter or listening very close to what Mike Joyce said right before the commercial break, you'd completely in the dark.
Yeah.
You would have missed it.
Yeah.
I'm jacked. I'm gonna be listening to the NBC theme song the next 2 weeks. I'm ready for it. So.
Well, I guess I gotta do mine. Do I do mine now?
Yeah, you got one.
So mine's pretty simple, but it was just during the Xfinity race. They were coming to green, and they're doing their whole thing of like where they're looking in the different driver cams and all that. So like, oh, we're here with Riley Herbst in the Monster Energy cam, and they were just sort of him hauling around talking about these different cams. Next thing you know, like, oh, we're going green.
Yeah.
And the cars take off. Like so just no awareness that they were coming out of the last corner to the start finish line ready to go. So it's just kind of funny, like, we're not paying attention at all.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we don't have to deal with these shenanigans anymore,
Thank
so
goodness.
No.
praise the Lord.
We'll just gripe
Till
about
next
other
year.
issues with NBC, but it won't be nearly as bad, so that's good.
Yeah.
I can't really think of anything that NBC does that actively
Dale
pisses
Earnhardt
me off,
yelling.
though.
Rick being
Every
Rick
time a car
sometimes.
gets in the wall.
I don't mind Dale Earnhardt yelling. That doesn't bother me. It's funny. I don't
It's
mind it.
funny. It gets old though.
Rick, I don't know. I don't have a problem with Rick, to be honest. I know it's the funny thing to say. Rick Allen's annoying and he sucks, but I don't know. He doesn't really bother me in any way. He at least sounds excited when he talks.
Yeah, sure. Well, I guess we can move real quick into some other motorsport news. We had redacted car at Detroit, which actually they had decent ratings this week for once.
Pretty
So
nice.
yeah,
You're
heard it
welcome.
was- heard it was. Yeah, that was a decent
Rain
race
delay.
there. And then the important news is Le Mans is this Saturday, 24-hour race.
Yeah, boy.
We have our Garage 56 NASCAR entry, which is
I
exciting.
haven't heard a podcast talk about that car either. Like, not
I know,
one of
really.
I-
That is
Really?
weird.
DBC didn't talk about
Yeah,
it. Denny
you
Hamlin
have.
didn't talk about it. I don't think the Teardown talked about it.
Well, they'll probably talk about it next week, I bet. But
Oh,
yeah,
I mean,
Well, you got to talk into it leading into it because we
Exactly.
have test times out, and
yeah,
if you looked at the test sheet, you would know that Garage 56 car is going to fucking walk those GTE
Oh, I
cars.
know.
3 seconds
I'm
faster.
Yeah, boy.
I'm so excited for that. And even though they're not officially scored, I would love to. And I think we talked about this in Discord. I hope somebody keeps the live
somebody will
scoring
know the
anyway.
track position. 100%.
Yeah.
And I think the pit crew for that car won
so they
won the pit crew challenge today.
They were the top GT pit crew, and they were 5th overall. So
Yep.
and it was a 10-second
With the
pit
jack.
time. Yeah,
With
they're
the jack.
only team to do it with a jack. So we're giving these boys some freedom over there in France. So I'm excited. The car sounds so mean and awesome, and sounds better than our Cup car right now. And we need that back, man. Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited. I've watched Le Mans here and there, but I think I'll actually kind of be glued to the TV on this. I'm curious.
I was watching the test footage, and it's just so funny, like how big that fucking car is compared to everything else, and how loud it is. Like you can just hear it over everything.
It's already pissing off the Europeans. Like, this is not the sound of a Le Mans endurance car.
Oh, I already saw somebody bitching about how they need to hit it with a BOP adjustment. I saw because they're worried that because it's faster than the GTE cars. I guess it could cause some sort of weird issue if there's a safety car or something. It's like, well, get better. I don't know.
They're just
Have you
scared
tried
of,
not sucking?
scared of freedom. That's all.
Yeah.
It's so great. And the funny thing is too, it's like we were all thinking that this thing was just going to haul ass down the Mulsanne, but that's not really where it's making up time. It is just flat out fast. It is fast through the corners. It's fast getting in, getting out.
Yeah.
It's quick. So it'll be fun to watch.
I wonder, and I don't know if anyone are they bound to any sort of? Are they bound to the GT? Obviously, they can't use rocket fuel, but how much freedom do they have?
All of it's just American.
It's an innovative car, innovative car.
I mean, it's not really innovative, but technically the car class is supposed to be innovative, but it's innovative 1960s technology, big old American V8. But I mean, in theory, you can do pretty much whatever you want in that Garage 56 entry. Like that's
Okay,
the whole
that's what I
point of
thought.
it.
Okay.
That's why it's not scored with anything else. It's its own independent thing.
It's gonna win.
Yeah, I'd be interested. Like, if it were like, is the hope to have like 5 of these cars at some point, or
It's just
or
a
is
thing
it
to
just
do.
like-
It's 75th
Yeah.
anniversary, 100th
Yeah.
anniversary of Le Mans. It's just
Yeah.
it's just a
It's
cool
kinda
thing
like
to
when
do.
the Delta Wing ran, it's just out there to try shit.
Yeah.
Well, they were
That's
actually
fun.
It's
trying
gonna
like
win its-
technology stuff, but
Yeah.
Nissan was when they ran that Delta Wing because they had like I think they had like a 1.6 liter 4-cylinder that made like some stupid amount of horsepower. I can't remember.
It should
But
win
that thing
its
was-
class, though. I think so.
Yeah.
I hope it does. If it doesn't, then
Yeah, I don't know what happened. But
And
I mean, the one thing I heard is they were hoping to like learn stuff about like road courses, road course packages for NASCAR and stuff like that. Which I don't know if I'd love because I think that's heading in the sports car direction for NASCAR. Which I
already gone.
yeah,
we're
I
already
kind of
there,
want
yeah.
to see that. I would just like it if this is just like a one-off thing, just to do for fun and go kick some Europeans in the balls.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be great.
What the F is a kilometer?
And quick, an extra breaking other motorsport news. Kyle Larson won another sprint car race.
Oh wow, beating
At
them
least he can drive
farmers and
those. That's at least
Yeah,
one
good
good.
for him.
Beating the plumbers.
Mhm.
But yeah, so we'll move into. So we got Sonoma this week. Very excited for this. I love Sonoma. I wish
I'm
they
so
would.
glad we're on the old layout.
Yeah, that's no more carousel nonsense.
We ran this last year, right?
I can't remember, honestly.
No, I think we ran the
Least
normal
around the-
layout last year.
We ran the carousel last year.
I thought the carousel was
Now
2
it's
years
loading.
ago.
I have to look it up. I don't remember. I don't feel like this is a new change. I feel like we've done it at least once before, but I don't know.
I think it was either COVID year or 2021.
Yeah, I feel like we've been doing it for a while, but I'm still just so glad we are.
Yeah, I'm back to normal layout. Suarez got his first win at Sonoma last year. A lot of guys are good at road course now, so it's not just Chase, Truex, and whoever else. There's a lot of guys that can win, and Chase obviously needs a win at this point, really, to get in the playoffs, unless those guys
Maybe if
are on
we
the bubble.
stop wrecking people.
Yeah, I know, right? Couldn't be me.
Dirty fucking driver.
But yeah, so who do we think? Obviously, I like Chase, William, the Hendrick guys, duh. But what do we think about Sonoma?
I don't know. It's gonna be fun.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, you got your normal suspects: your Chase Elliott, your Tyler Reddick, your Daniel Suarez. They'll all be
McDowell.
quick. Michael McDowell will be up there.
Your guys like Dinger in that fighting hard for the win. I mean,
Dinger will be up there too.
Interesting. Dinger, Cindric. What
Dinger will
about
be up there
Bell?
poking
You think
around.
Bell's gonna show back up for a road course anytime soon?
Toyotas are looking better. I think he could. Last year their short and road course packages were dog shit, but I think they've stepped up this year, so I think it's possible. Where do you end up finishing Coda? I thought he was doing okay, but something happened. I think he got spun or something like that on a restart.
Yeah, I think he was involved in one of the turn 1 incidents.
Yeah. He's just always getting
He had
caught
a
up in
flat
some
tire.
shit.
That's what it was.
That poor guy. He's always getting caught up in something. But yeah, I mean, I think he's definitely one, maybe a sleeper road course guy that you could pick.
And I also wanted to point out too, Ryan Blaney is our new points leader overall.
Yeah.
He's 13 points up on William, and Harvick's third, and Ross is down to fifth. He's 29 points out. So,
I mean, did he even score any stage points in the Coke 600? I think he got like eighth or ninth in one of the stages.
Yeah, he might have got a couple, and that was it. So
yeah, he didn't get many.
Yeah, so Blaney's our new top dog, and yeah, he's just there. And I think who was saying, Zach? I think he sent it in something that, or Bianchi was saying some shit that like, oh, Blaney and Kyle have not been around at all this year, and it's like,
and that's what I wanted to. I was gonna pitch into that a little bit earlier, but I didn't want to go too heavy into my Kyle Busch fandom. But just like, there's this idea like in the teardown, and even Denny kind of hinted at it, like about Kyle not being there recently, and they said the same thing about Ryan Blaney. It's like, what? These guys have been around all season.
Right.
I mean, they get caught in shit and stuff goes bad. Like Blaney's been fast. He just kept having bad things happen, whether his fault or somebody else's.
Can't finish.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not like they called him like almost random. I was like, I wouldn't call him
It's
random.
like, you're not the points leader if you're not around. And
Right,
You
I
don't get
mean-
you don't get 3 wins if you're not around.
Right. And last year, Blaney makes it all the way to the round of 8 with just on points. Like
Exactly. Yeah.
he's up there. Well, it kind of goes in the same vein, I guess, with the Kyle Petty comment about Ryan Blaney being the Casey Kane. Like, what? He's good.
Right. Like, what are you talking about?
And that would be like saying, oh, Alex Bowman last year was on around. It's like, you don't get 4 wins by not being around. You're there at the end, and you sometimes it's luck, sometimes you just make it happen.
I was left with this impression that like everybody gets so caught up in Ross Chastain and whatever drama he's got going on, and Kyle Larson, that they forget the rest of the field exists.
Right.
Like it was just, I don't know. Usually I like the teardown. I think they have a lot of good opinions and stuff like that. But this week, I don't know. I just felt like they were off for me anyway. I don't have a bad opinion, so I don't know what that's like.
That's true.
I agree.
It's bad when the teardown Homer Zach is saying it's bad. So
Yeah.
The gluck glucker, as we call him.
The glove figure.
Well, Andrew, do you have any betting picks for Sonoma yet?
We don't want to hit.
I was gonna knock it out now
Survivor?
since we're talking about it.
No, not really. I mean, I'm looking at Dinger plus 1600. That's going to drop throughout the week. McDowell plus 4500. Probably wait another day or two, see what his
That's a win.
top 5, top 10s are.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4500 to win.
Yeah.
So
I'm putting
I mean, last
else on
week I made pretty good money on top 10 for McDowell.
There you go.
I bet him to win because it was like plus 20,000, which is just stupid.
Yeah, why
Top
not?
5 was plus 1800, which again, great fucking odds. He was second fastest in practice, and then the top 10. I think if Chastain didn't take McDowell out, there's a good shot he finished top 5, maybe top 3.
I mean, they've shown
but-
speed in that car, man. I mean, especially
Yeah.
the past few weeks. I'm like, I'm curious to see how he does on like a track like this where he's known for his road course skills.
Yeah,
Wasn't he up
so
there
I
at the
think-
Coke 600 too? I
He
swear I
was
saw
up-
him like top 5.
I think it was like a pit thing. Like he,
Was it?
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
he
like
stayed
that.
out or didn't or took 2 or something weird.
I think
like
he
that.
led a lap, if I'm correct, but yeah, it was pit stop strategy type.
I thought he was up there. Never mind.
And,
But
and
yeah, plus 4500 though. I think it's not a great bet, not a bad bet.
I'd
like I
take
said,
him
I
top
think
10,
top 5,
depending
top
on the
10,
odds
yeah.
for you, but yeah.
Yeah, you're probably looking at like plus 250 or something top 10, which I think is pretty solid. But yeah, those are my 2 guys right now. Chase Elliott plus 500's too low. And you got Larson in there plus 500. I don't know. I'm just out on all those guys. So that's
Very
all I
nice.
got for right now.
an important betting update for Austin and I as North Carolina residents. We will be able to bet starting next January. So
Really? I missed that.
I think just the state Senate needs to pass it. It passed in the House, and the governor said he would sign the bill. So
Sick.
I don't know why it would take them 6 months to start it.
Because
but-
the government.
Yeah.
yeah, because the government.
Exactly why. Yeah.
I'm like y'all. You would think they want to be ready by football season because
Nah,
that's
they
one of
don't
the
think
biggest-
about
Ready for the
like
Super
that.
Bowl, I guess, but
Yeah,
We'll be ready for the Super Bowl, just not this one.
Yeah. No, Super
this
Bowl's in
one's
February.
Zach, so Super Bowl's in
Is
February.
it?
There you go.
Oh, okay.
You know
I thought it was a
yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Good
So-
joke, Zach. Good one.
So next racing season, you'll get more betting picks from Drake and I because I will definitely be getting in on the fun.
hammering them.
So
Absolutely.
What
Yeah.
do you guys think about Busher? for
I like him.
race?
ooh,
He might be another
What's his
sleeper.
odds?
That'd be a good sleeper, yeah.
Like to win, I guess, right now.
Plus 3,500.
Mm,
So
that's
Sprinkle a little bit on that.
He looked
Probably top
really
10
good last
also.
year. He looked really good.
He got second, yeah.
Yeah,
and
and he was-
that's true. Forgot about that.
8th at Coda. I think
Yeah.
a top 5 and a small bet on top 5 and then the top 10 bet.
He's a
Yeah.
quietly good road racer. So yeah, I think that's not a bad one.
If Hicks
There
didn't
you go.
burn my Busher pick for this past week, I might take him for Survivor Pool.
Yeah. So Sonoma, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited for that. I think we got all 3 series there this week, so that'll be fun.
3 more races for Fox to fuck up for the end of the year.
Exactly. Yeah. And at kill count for Gateway, we obviously have Cindric with 2, Ross with 1 with the McDowell. I believe that's really it. No? Just a lot of break rotors otherwise.
Yeah, break rotor, break rotor, break rotor, break rotor.
And that means Joey is still our leader at 15 on our official kill count counter.
Congratulations, Joey.
But really, we can attribute all these to Ross, so he's the true leader.
Exactly.
I want to say though, Ross is catching Joey at this pace because he had nothing 3 weeks ago, and now he's up to 5.
Yeah.
So at this pace, he's got it.
Well, all right, so we can go. Austin, go ahead.
I was gonna say, on the Survivor Pool is what I was gonna say.
Yeah, Austin Survivor Pool season. Let's go.
Survivor Pool. So Joe won. I forgot he picked Kyle Busch. So that was a great pick, Joe. And then I was second with Martin Truex, who finished P5. And then Drake had Busher, thanks to B Hicks for that pick. He finished 12th, and then Andrew rounded us out with Reddick, who was doing okay, but then blew up a brake rotor.
That's what you get for suggesting I get DNF'd last week for not being there to make a pick. Sure. Or we can just DNF him. Get out of here with that. Yeah.
Hey, either send the pick in or get DNF.
Shout out to Hicks. Thanks for making that was a fine pick, Hicks. P12, I'll take it. Everyone else just picked.
I also recommended that Hicks makes a pick.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. They wanted to skip a week.
I did hear that.
Yeah. So I got last. Yay.
Yep. So
I didn't think I'd be able to get this guy. I was gonna pick McDowell, but we're going AJ Allmendinger.
So the dinger. Drake, who you got?
I'm gonna go with Road Course Ringer, MTJ.
MTJ.
I was kind of torn with some other people, but we have some more road courses in the schedule. I can run those guys.
Yeah, I didn't want to. I don't know if I want to burn a road course pick too soon.
Yeah.
Like a real good one.
Yeah.
Yosef. Oh no, me. I'm up.
No,
Never mind. Sorry. I know I just said I don't want to burn a road course ringer, but I'm gonna go with Chase Elliott.
We said a real good one. So
a real good one.
I'd go with like a par
throwaway
at best
pick.
one.
I'm thinking like a Reddick. When I think of road course ringer.
Throwaway Chase Elliott pick here. Yeah.
Yeah, throwaway Chase Elliott.
See if he can actually finish the rest of the races out, or if he's going to hurt himself or get suspended again. Yeah. I wish I was a part timer like Chase Elliott.
If I was Denny Hamlin, I would fucking send Chase Elliott.
Oh, yeah.
just for the memes.
Oh, it's an easy way to do it too. I mean, it's good payback without it being clearly intentional. You know what I mean?
You just do what Tony Stewart did to him a few years ago when Tony got his last win.
Over on a dirt track. Wait, what?
No, not that. Whatever corner that is, before they go back into the S's, Stewart just fucking ran Hamlin off the road.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Stewart just drove it in deep and pushed Hamlin off. I mean, he didn't like shove him off. He just got him up a lane. But if I was Denny, I'd just ship Chase to, I don't know, whatever. Yeah.
Well, my pick will be Xfinity Road Course Ringer Austin Cindric.
Solid pick.
There you go.
And that is our Survivor Pool.
That's Survivor Pool.
Did we do a total score update?
Oh, we did not. We did not.
Yeah.
Drake is still winning.
I'm just asking just for fun. Just
this is why he wants it.
I don't know where I am. So
his lead is shrinking though. Drake's got 41. Andrew's at 38. Did it really?
From last week?
Yeah, I was within 2.
Yeah, now he's.
Oh shit!
Now it's just 3. Still closer than it was. So
we need Hicks making more of your picks. Yeah. So Drake's got 41. Andrew's got 38. I'm at 36, and Joe's at 35. So not too far apart for all of us.
No, definitely looks closer now than it did last week.
Yeah.
And I believe we have an OnlyFans question to wrap up the show.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we got one from Jake P.
Jake P.
Yeah,
Jake Penis.
Jake P.
Well, huh? What?
Huh?
What? A friend of yours? What is your guys' favorite race time snack?
Ooh.
Oh, I got this one. It depends. I don't really have a favorite one except for the right race. So like a night race is when, like a Coke 600. That's why I was so upset about the Coke 600 being scrubbed this year.
Oh no.
My big thing for night races is getting a bunch of wings and making a bunch of buffalo wings.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's my big thing. I'll
Oh,
do
yeah.
that for most of the bigger night races. So
It's
we
a
lost
good
out
day
in
to do it.
we lost out in the Coke 600, but we'll bring it back for the Bristol night race, I think.
Very nice. I know for me, especially when we're at the race, we were at the 600. We grill a bunch of hot dogs, and then just bringing in the cooler for the race. We wrap up some hot dogs in foil, but also always got to have my beef jerky. Got to have my liquid IV and a little bag of candy to get the sugar in there. So
I like this question a lot. I think my favorite race time snack is probably beer.
yeah,
Pork chop in a
that's-
can.
that's a great one.
That's a
Oh,
good
yeah.
one. Or pre-race snack, as was on Sunday. It's about all I have.
Pre, during, and post race now.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh man.
No, but I think I don't know if I have like a go-to. I think one of my favorite things at a racetrack though is the turkey legs. Lindsay always wants to get a turkey leg anytime she goes to a race. It's like her prize for going to a NASCAR race with me. She gets a turkey leg. So I always like getting those turkey legs, but like with Joe, just a good hot dog or something, grilling something out, even for like a watching on the couch race, just grilling something out is always fun.
If you're at a southern racetrack, Bojangles.
Yes, I did have Bojangles on
At the
Monday
600.
at the 600,
Yeah.
which you
That
can't
was-
beat it. So
And
good.
then it went immediately out of my body like 10 minutes after.
quickly expedited
So
itself out.
That was fun.
Yeah. Might have partially been the alcohol the day before too, doing that, but good
Also,
combo.
yes.
I figured Austin was just gonna say cookout and just be done with it. But good answers.
I do
Also,
love-
Didn't say cookout at all.
that's a great post race snack.
yes, little
Cookout
late
tray.
night because they're open till like 3 a.m. So
Amen,
heading home from
brother.
the 600 at 11 or 12, rolling by that cookout there in Concord, or like
yeah.
on the way home.
It was surprisingly, there was like no line when I drove by it after the race. I was like, I thought there would be a line out the parking lot.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
Losers.
They don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So, chips and dip. Like,
What dip?
know.
That's
It's-
the question.
so that I think it just depends. Like sometimes you get the nice like ruffled chips
Ruffles.
and some
French onion?
French onion. I
Absolutely.
mean that's a solid go-to.
Oh,
And then if you really want to treat yourself, you get some Tostitos chips and some queso.
Dude,
yeah.
I could
Yeah.
definitely focus on nachos.
God,
Especially-
I'm about to go
I-
and get some
I don't-
queso real quick.
I don't think y'all have Harris Teeters, but they make a great like 7-layer Mexican bean dip.
Mhm.
I could literally eat one of those in one sitting if
The
I'm
Harry
not.
Teeter.
Oh yeah,
It's-
we got something similar up here.
Yeah.
Same
HEB
thing.
has
I-
good dips like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we could be here all night talking about our favorite foods, but
Mhm.
thank you, Jake, for the awesome
Great question.
Yeah, I really do
Yeah.
like that question. That was a great question.
Very good. But yeah, if you want to submit an OnlyFans question for us to answer on the pod, go to the gwcpod.com and fill out the form, and we will answer your question live on air. And anything else, boys, before we send it off to Sonoma?
I don't think so. I think that's about all we got. Yeah, I'm excited for Le
Very
Mans
good.
too. It'll be a good time.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
and Le Mans. It's Le Mans.
Pretty sure that is
Yeah.
going to be on Motor Trend for
Okay.
anybody.
We're actually doing a 24-hour Le Mans watch party here on our YouTube channel at the Green White Checkered Podcast.
Oh,
We're going to be streaming the whole thing just here in Discord, watching the race together. So be
Live reactions.
Yes, live react. The whole
I'm gonna
24, no
just-
sleep.
Yeah.
It falls under
God.
fair use when you do that.
Yeah.
Also, real quick, talking F1, Max Verstappen won by 1,000,000 miles.
Yeah,
and that was talking F1.
He did.
I'm
Yeah.
over
See,
F1.
That's when
Yeah,
when
it's
people
over.
talk about how boring of a NASCAR race it was. Like, think about that.
And wasn't he
Spain
up
was a
like
good
10
race, though, apparently. I didn't.
Wasn't he up like 10 seconds within like 3 laps though?
Probably.
Max?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stupid.
They said he pitched at the end just to take tires to get fast slap. So
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
it's
insane.
but so hold on. Who had more passes for the lead this weekend, NASCAR or F1? On track passes.
Oh, boy, I don't know.
Ooh.
I feel like the answer is
NASCAR.
NASCAR, but I feel like by you asking that question, the answer is going to be F1.
There were 0 passes for the lead in NASCAR.
That's
Wow.
fake
Really?
news. I saw Kyle Busch take the pass for the lead. What are you talking about?
Yellow flag came out.
No, it didn't. He passed. He passed
never
Kyle
did.
Larson.
No.
We're
even
going
said
back.
it on.
Oh yeah.
Hold
They
on.
said it on Denny Hamlin's podcast. 0.
Nope. He's full shit.
Zero.
They doesn't know what he's talking about. He's an idiot. Everybody knows that.
We're the only
Every
right
time there
source
was a
here.
pass for the lead, there was always a caution or something happened that they did not.
How many were in
That's
F1?
fake.
0 as well?
I don't know.
Had to have been
I
0.
don't
Yeah,
know.
so-
Matt-
Max.
I'm
won
guessing
a whole-
0 also.
Yeah.
Unless
so
Max didn't
he-
qualify
it's a
on
tie.
pole, which he did. So
Yeah.
So the real winner is IndyCar.
Yeah. Surprising. Well, yeah. So IndyCar is great. And then who was saying what IndyCar was it? Will Power who's saying F1 racing sucks ass. And
He's right.
IndyCar's the best. He is right. He's
I
correct.
was even talking to
But-
Tom, and Tom, whose main motorsport is Formula One. He's like, I put on the IndyCar race after, and he's like, it was actually really nice to see a lot of action, a lot of passing with open wheel cars. I'm like, yeah. And like
Yeah, welcome.
I even saw a clip where a guy they clips the back left wheel of this guy, the car goes in the air and then just lands, and they just keep going. The cars aren't made of freaking paper either. So yeah, I mean, he's like, I kind of want to get an IndyCar now. I'm like, yeah, good luck figuring out what a race is, because you're not going to know any other way besides maybe going to their website. But their website isn't even great. So anyway,
No,
They
but
put
yeah.
on some exciting races this year, but nobody sees them because they don't market it.
yep.
Nope. They sure don't. But yeah. So talking F1.
Then he's full of shit. I am just now watching Kyle Busch pass Kyle Larson, lap 56 to go, and then 55 to go, and there's no caution.
All right. Well, there you
So
go.
Did he actually pass him, or were they just fighting for it?
No, he passes him. He has him cleared,
Mm,
and then there's a caution with
Fake
43
news.
to go.
fake news.
Fake news. I'm watching it. You're just coming here with made up bullshit.
Hey, I heard it on another podcast. So it's
Well,
true.
then Denny Hamlin don't know what he's talking about. He also said that Cindric intentionally right-reared Dylan. How'd that work out? Not great.
Yeah.
I'm a
All
Denny
right,
fan, and I'm telling you, he's full of shit.
Well, sometimes he is. But yeah, so that'll conclude the episode for this week. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at the GWC Pod.
That the GWC.
That